Hey folks, Brendan here from Bluelight, taking the doggy for a walk. There she is, sniffing away at something, just by York Racecourse. It's all happening today, just on the other side of the main buildings. It's a race day, the John Smith something or other. Anyway, putting all of that to one side, why am I making this short video for you in the police in-service development cadre? Well, it's because of difficult conversations around diversity, equality and inclusion. So in the In-Force Advancement Group, this is where police officers who are looking to further their careers, have the most amazing, successful and fulfilling careers ever. We meet there once a week, and for 2 hours we practice. I've already given them all the guidance on the skills that they need to answer interview questions. Forward-facing, backward-facing, why you, why now type questions. We practice all of those, whether it's for transferee, for promotion boards or for specialist interviews. We also take a look at what we need to do to hack the system, to see what we can do to prepare ourselves for those interviews and for the application forms when they come out. Not when the application forms come out, but way before then. Anyway, the big elephant in the room at the moment, especially for PSNI officers, is diversity, equality and inclusion. It's almost a certainty that one of the questions you're going to get on your promotion board for sergeant or inspector is going to be, how will you in the future promote diversity, equality and inclusion on your team? And first of all, we've got to know what we mean by diversity, equality and inclusion and the difference between them. I think the best analogy I can think of is that diversity is being invited to the party, and inclusion is being able to dance at the party in any way you feel comfortable. Equality is providing for everyone's various needs at that party. So I think I've got that right. I've picked up bits and bobs of that over the years, but I quite like that analogy, which you might want to use. Now for the PSNI officers, when it comes to how to, what they've been doing is coming up with like this wish list of things we're going to do. And I could get my 12-year-old daughter to remember a wish list. Is it going to pass her? I don't think so. And I can confirm that. The elephant in the room seems to be Loyalist, Nationalist, Protestant, Roman Catholic issues. You know, everyone's prepared to talk on their wish list about everything but LGBT issues, black officers, Asian officers, neurodiversity, everything except for perhaps one of the biggest issues, which is the issues around your religion and your loyalist or nationalist beliefs or lack of those beliefs. And it's hard for me to understand those issues as someone who was a white officer in a big metropolitan force like GMP. But I do understand a little bit about some of the issues because I did work for 3 years as an ethnic minority when I served in the Bermuda police. Oh, there's an ambulance coming. Hang on a second. Let's keep Summer over here. Summer, stay here. Stay. Look at that, it's all getting busy. They're all getting ready to get drunk out their brains. That's what they normally do. The races, bet on horses and get bladdered. You see them all staggering out later on this afternoon. We live not far away from here. So to help you out with this, this week I spoke with Andy George. He's the president of the Black Police Association, and he's also a PSNI officer. I believe he's an inspector, but I don't think the rank really matters. It's just his position and his knowledge and his experience of where forces want to go. So this way, come on, you're not allowed on the race course. Get trampled by horses. There you go, John Smith something or other. They've been busy putting those signposts up overnight. So anyway, back to the point. I had a really good chat with him about where the PSNI is going, its journey around diversity, equality and inclusion. And these sort of issues are difficult issues to talk about. Officers who may have had fathers or mothers who were in the RUC, who may have been injured or killed by IRA terrorists, and the terrorism threat is still real, still exists, and is still influenced, I believe, by Loyalist or Nationalist beliefs. These are difficult elephants in the room to deal with. And so, for about 20 minutes, Andy and I talked about how we would, if we were an inspector or a sergeant in the future, go about making sure that those issues are no longer the elephants in the room. Not got time to do that on my little walk with the doggy, but for those members of the In-Force Advancement Group, I'm going to prepare a series of explainer videos where I go over some of the best advice that I've sought, not just from the president of the Black Police Association, who has a real interest in these issues in Northern Ireland because he is a Northern Ireland police officer, but also from my friend Dr. Pete Jones, who, if you're on Twitter, you can find Andy George on Twitter, it's just at Andy George. But on Twitter, Pete Jones is a fat white bloke. I know, at fat white bloke. Really experienced in terms of things like bias and how to remove bias from your workplace, unconscious and conscious bias. So some videos there for you coming up, which will give you lots of ideas about how to answer that how question. You know, how would you do in the future? Let's take it and turn it from something that's not a wish list, but something that meets the ambitions of the force, that meets the ambitions of the Chief Constable. I know, Simon Byrne. He was my deputy years ago. Interesting character, that's all I'll say. Actually, some of the things he came to visit one of my area, and he quite liked some of the things that we were doing. They were quirky, they were innovative. We were enabling the community to do some quite interesting things that were helping to reduce demand. And he really paid attention to one of them. It was the mattress. He really liked the mattress, the mystery mattress. He loved that. He said, I want to see more of that sort of thing. Anyway, more about mystery mattresses another time. So if you're in the In-Force Advancement Group, stand by, folks, because I've got some really, really interesting videos for you from some of the best advice in the country. And also coming up, and in conversation with webinar with Andy George. So coming up over the next couple of weeks, watch out for the invites. A webinar where I'll discuss with Andy some of these issues and issues that also face the forces of Wales, England and Scotland. Something to look forward to. All right, folks, well, thanks for those of you who are watching. It's Curtis and Layla who have been watching, and others. I just don't get to see your names because of the Facebook settings. But awesome to have you on board, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye for now. Stay safe.